butterflies, and welcome to Butterfly Tea Time. I hope that you have your tea and your coffee ready. This is a special edition today, and this is going to be my very favorite show so far. Today, we're going to be really talking about Tasha, my very good friend. I was her makeup artist, and she is the one that actually inspired me to create Butterfly Nectar and to create resources for women throughout the lupus community and globally to help women with butterfly rash makeup hacks and skincare for the butterfly rash. It's my pleasure to introduce you today to Tasha's twin sister, Letitia. Hi, Letitia. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about your sister and the impact she had in the lupus community.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Yeah. So today we have a special video that we got out of the vault that Letitia has shared with us, and it is Tasha's original video that she did about just being really transparent and talking about how lupus has been for her and having the butterfly rash and, you know, having fun with makeup and dress up, but also being able to accept the changes that have gone on with her skin and to be able to take the makeup off at the end of the day. So we're going to go ahead and start with her video right now. And she made this on her own. We're very excited to show this to you guys today.
Everyone, my name is Latasha Ellis, and this is my camel confession. I remember the first time I realized that my skin was starting to change. I was a sophomore in high school, playing on the softball team. I thought I had a sunburn, but later found out that it was a butterfly rash, and I was diagnosed with systemic lupus. I started getting lesions on my arms, my hands, my ears, and my scalp, and my skin was itching uncontrollably. I also experienced hair loss. I went to my rheumatologist, and I was diagnosed with discoid lupus as well. When I would go out in the public, I felt like everyone was staring or pointing at me, and this was very uncomfortable. People would ask me if I was burnt by a cigarette or if I was in a fire. I remember going to the dermatologist and asking them, will my skin ever be the same? Will it go back to the way it was? And the answer was no. They did give me an alternative though. They told me that I can use makeup. I started using cosmetics and I started to feel pretty again. But at the end of the day, that makeup had to come off. It took a long time and it wasn't easy, but I learned to love myself with or without makeup on. You've seen me with makeup, now see me without.
So we are so grateful that Tasha left these words for us to show so many other women that are going through this, that they are not alone. And we're so grateful that Letitia is giving us this video to share with the world, and we want to make it go viral. So thank you so much for being here, Tisha. So I actually met Tasha years ago at Colors of Lupus, Nevada. We did a makeup event, and I had the pleasure of meeting her and having a good girlfriend's time and really talking about being picked on in school. We were both severely bullied in school and how it felt for people to ask her about the skin and ask her if she had burns and stare at her, and then the ability that she found and the power that she found within, you know, makeup and hair. And she's the one that inspired me to create Butterfly Nectar. So we're going to constantly talk about her in this group because she helped inspire this cream for other women going through discoid lupus. And it's a heavy day in our community. We just did our her balloon release last week. It was super emotional, and her family does this for her every birthday. This is her twin. So yeah, we're just here to like light up her name and talk about her mission and keep her mission going and keep this movement going for women. So Tisha is her twin. So you want to tell us a little bit about you guys growing up together? I know that you also have lupus, but you did never get the butterfly rash.
Well, Tasha thinks she is my older sister. She is 6 minutes older than me. We fight like cats and dogs, but let me tell you, we have each other's back like it's nothing. My sister says she's backstage. Sorry.
Okay, let's let her up.
Okay. And actually, we can have Danielle's story. I can tell. Danielle, you want to talk about us when we were little and how me and Tasha was? Go ahead.
Well, my mom was pregnant. I was so excited to have a little sibling, and then she came home with 2 people. So they were surprise twins. We didn't know Tish was in there. Tosh was on top of her. They had the same heartbeat. So they did not detect a set of twins. And
wow.
was, she was fuller. She was a chubby cheek little baby. And Tish, I heard Tish saying like Tasha's older because she's 6 minutes older. So she was like, I'm the big sister, you're the little sister. Tasha was always outgoing and just like in the middle of things, happy. Tish has always been kind of laid back. Like, I'm watching you. I see you. Okay, now I'll get involved because I see. But Tasha would just like jump in the water and just, go full force. Just a ball of energy. But they argue a lot, but then like don't pick a side. So I always have to remain neutral, like, yep. Oh, really? I don't have an opinion about either person. I just stay in the middle, neutral. But yeah, if anything happened, no matter what was going on, one would drop whatever they were doing to be there for the other person, no matter what they argued about. I don't even think they remembered sometimes what they argued about. But I think that's siblings sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we're so glad that you could be here today. And I know Tisha really well, but I've never actually got the chance to meet you. So very nice meeting you. So you are the older sister and you actually have lupus as well, correct? But you don't get the butterfly rash.
I haven't. I still have, I guess it left a mark on my left cheek, but not on my right. But it's been a while. It hit me hard right after the birth of my son. He was born in 2010. So yeah, he took a lot out of me and my body. But so far I've been okay. So after that, I've been okay. I had to go on methotrexate. It was affecting my kidneys at some point. And luckily, I'm a veteran and I actually have access to good care. I know everybody doesn't say that as a veteran, but I've been really blessed with the medical care that I've had access to.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. So this is just, a remarkable moment. And when they talk about Tasha's spirit, I mean, she really, really had a very high energy spirit. I mean, as you can imagine, like for her to get a makeup artist that she worked with one time, this rallied up about creating a movement, and to be doing it all these years later, you can tell that like she had that spirit. She had that energy. She was a leader. She could rally a team, and she rallied me, and now I've rallied a team through her. So it's just really amazing the impact that Tasha continues to have in the lupus community all these years later. So
it seemed like she left her footprint.
Yeah, she definitely did.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You can tell that her spirit, you're living on through her, and that she's made an impact. Although we're just meeting her and just learning about her story, we feel like we know her. We feel like a connection to her and to you ladies as well that joined today, her sisters. I mean, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Such a beautiful spirit. And that's what I'm sensing, just her love for people, and that she just loved, enjoyed life.
Yeah. We had a really good time. Like, we were at the Springs Preserve, and it was a photo shoot that we were doing for Colors of Lupus Nevada. And, you know, everybody else had like 5 women, but I had done a woman, her name was Keisha Davis, and she actually was doing a lot of work with the lupus charity in the community at that time. And I did her makeup. And the way that this all kind of like transpired was she came into the beauty store one day and she had a vitiligo, which vitiligo is when you have different pigments in your skin tone. So she was telling me that she was going to be doing a photo shoot. She didn't tell me that she had lupus or anything. And I did like this amazing cover up art on her, and we got to know each other as friends. And she goes, you know, you should really come down and do this for Colors of Lupus. So many times, like, the makeup artist will say they're going to do it, and then they flake on us and they don't show up. And I was like, oh, lupus? Like, my stepmom just passed away from that. Like, I will be there. Like, I want to know more. And then she's like, I have a certain girl in mind that I really want you to work with, and she loves makeup. You guys are going to get along so well. So I got to meet Tasha, and as we removed a lot of the makeup, which she was hesitant to do, she had like 3 different foundations on in different colors to color correct, and they all had different textures, so they would fill in the scarring. So I understood how she was able to cover it, because one of them was thicker. It was more of that, I don't know if you guys remember like the old school fashion fair where it would come like in a little bit of a pot, and it had kind of a waxiness to it.
Yeah.
So it would, like, cover all the scars. So when we were talking and we did her makeup, we had a ton of fun. Like, I talked to her about how I'd been bullied my whole life and how makeup has helped me to feel like more in control of the way that I feel I present myself to the world. And we did a bunch of highlighter. She loved my highlighter. We did like 3 different kinds. And I was like, I actually don't feel like I have anything in this kit that like I could put on this rash and feel good about it. And like some of my favorite skincares were in my makeup kit at that time, and I'm like reading the backs of the labels, and I'm like, okay, alcohol, okay, what's this chemical? And that's when I started really first like deep diving and reading like the ingredients in skincare and things like that. And I was like, you know what, we should just like make our own skincare. Like, why is there not a skincare for butterflies? That makes no sense. And then after like we did her highlighter and she was just like really feeling herself, and we just had that moment together, I was like, we should really do like butterfly rash makeup packs for other women on YouTube. And we like made this thing, this pack together, that it was going to happen. And so it took a lot of years to find a skincare that would have the primer that I originally used on her had like a texture. It was similar to like a Derma Blend, and it was similar to the old school, like one that came in the pot, Fashion Fair. Well, they discontinued a lot of those. So then women began to seek me out after this event and find me because they knew that I was really good at butterfly rash makeup packs. And when they discontinued that primer, I had no idea what I was going to do. They discontinued the Fashion Fair. They have relaunched recently, but in a very different way than they ever were before. So I brought like a little sample of one of the primers that I used to the manufacturer, and he was able to recreate that texture to fill in scars. And then he was able to put an antimicrobial to seal it to where it was safe to apply makeup to it. Because at that time it was a little sketchy. Like, we're working with open lesions on the skin. The skin is irritated. Do we really want to put makeup on it? So fast forward several years later, people are finding me, and I'm constantly reminded of this promise that I made to Tasha. Well, I went forward with getting a manufacturer and getting the ball rolling, and I was so excited to call her and to tell her. So I tried to get a hold of her, and I couldn't, and it didn't seem like her Facebook was active anymore. And so I got a hold of Autumn Austin at Colors of Lupus Nevada, where I first met her. And she told me that she had passed away before I was able to show her the skincare. And she's the one that reunited me with her twin sister. And it's just become this whole other mission of women that have come together in Tasha's honor to keep this mission and this vision going for other women that want resources. Okay. So it's a great day in the community.
It definitely is. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so thankful that you actually was able to meet her and do this, because what you said was very valid. When you have something going on with your skin that's irritated and you're trying to cover or conceal because maybe you want to go out and you don't want everybody looking at you, because you have some issues going on with your skin. But when it's irritated, it's hard to find something that you can actually put on your skin, because that itself could irritate your skin even more, and it's still in recovery because there's something wrong. So I commend you for taking the time to put in the work to do this for the community and for women in general, and just people who have like issues with their skin. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't have lupus was the most commendable part.
Thank you. Well, I do have some angels rooting for me in heaven. I have my stepmother that passed from lupus and would not allow me to see my brother for about 10 years. We still haven't even seen each other since she passed away. She didn't want me to see her with lupus. And so that had already like really resonated with me as a child of why can't I see my brother and my stepmom once they moved away? And it was because of lupus. So that sparked it. Then she totally ignited the fire within me. And I think I needed one more thing to happen before I actually took off with it. After the women had started seeking me, and they didn't all know my name, they just knew where to find me and what altar I would be at. I was with a client, and it was the worst kind of makeovers ever. It's make me look like an Instagram model. My heart wasn't in it. I absolutely hate it. They don't have a story when they're sitting in the chair. I'm like looking at a picture. It's not art for me. So I was doing one of those clients, and a woman walked in and she had the butterfly rash. And I knew right away when I saw it that she was coming for me. But unfortunately, another makeup artist approached her before I could get to her, and she was asking to be color matched. And the makeup artist said to her, "Your skin looks contagious. I can't service you." And I was like, you know what you're going to do? You're going to come take this Instagram makeup client over here. And then I ended up like not only doing her makeup, but becoming really, really good friends with her. And that's when I was like, no more. Like, we're going to create this change. Yeah. We're going to educate people, and we are going to make room in the beauty industry for butterflies, period. So that's what we're here doing now.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
We hope that these videos, as they're going on YouTube, can help someone that's been newly diagnosed that maybe doesn't feel like they have a girlfriend. Maybe they don't feel like they have the answers on what's going on with the rash or how to treat it other than the steroid that the doctors recommend with basically no guidance. So if this can help someone from across the globe that is getting newly diagnosed, you can find us in Lupus Glitter, and we can help guide you through this. We are your fairy godmothers sent by Tasha to you. So let's see if we have any comments yet.
Absolutely. No. I love that.
And if you guys do want to make a comment, make sure that you just kind of type what your name is, because if you don't sign in and give permission, we won't be able to see who you are. So does anyone else have anything to add before we show the butterfly nectar? Any stories about Tasha? Any last thoughts about this mission? And any woman that's tuning into this that's been newly diagnosed, what would you say to her?
I want to speak about my last moments with Tasha.
Yeah,
Diane, you know about it. So we were together Saturday. And I'm like this, you know, like Danielle said, I'm the sister that stays in the back. I'm a loner for a reason, not because I don't have enough siblings. It's a lot of us. I just choose to stay to myself. And, you know, they just know that about me. When I wanted to reach out to you, I'll reach out to you. But Tasha was my person where I knew what was going on with Danielle. I knew what was going on with everybody because she told me everything. So our last moments, I never realized how big of an impact my sisters had on me. And when I say my sisters, I mean Danielle and Tasha. Like, those are my best friends. We argue too. I argue with Danielle too, but we don't do it as much as we used to because I guess Tasha made us realize all we got is each other. Even though that was our concept growing up with my little brother it was a trickle effect. Danielle took care of us. We took care of Jeremy. And if it wasn't for my older sister who had most difficult with us, because sometimes we treated her like our sister, sometimes we treated her like our mom, sometimes we're just typical kids. She's older than us, she thinks she knows it, we think we know it, but we all came together and we all realized. Tasha and I were talking that day, Saturday. We ate some chicken because that was her favorite food. I went to Wingstop, got her lemon pepper chicken, and we was listening to Brandy, my best friend, And then I realized like this whole time she's been drilling in my head. We are best friends. All of us are best friends. Me, Jeremy, I'm like, y'all are not my best friends. Y'all are just my siblings. So what are you talking about? But to come to the understanding that they are my best friends. They are my everything. We know each other's stories, our wounds, some things we didn't find out till later, but we know every story of each other. My little brother is more standoff, but he reminds me of me. But I think it's because he's the only boy and it's 3 girls. So that's understandable. But to realize like our mom was strong.
Yeah.
She took care of us. She died trying to take care of us. And my mom was the most beautiful thing ever. Long, pretty hair. Her teeth fell out. Her skin was messed up like Tasha's. But she gave us every single thing. So I think that Tasha got her inspiration and her spirit and her wings from my mom.
Wow.
So my mom was the main reason why we are all together and we stick together. We only got to use each other. But Tasha made us realize no matter what, she always kept us together. Me, Jeremy, Tasha, and Diane, we did more sibling things than any of us have ever done. So I think she was showing us before she passed away. Like Danielle told me, she went to go see all of us. Like we have had brothers and sisters too, but we all consider each other brothers and sisters. But I was the last person that encountered her because she kept telling me, I don't want you to do this no more. I don't want you to stop your life. I want you to live your life. You never lived your life. I'm still trying to figure out how to live my life. It's hard because I'm used to calling her every day. Now I have to bug Danielle. So no matter what her story is and it's going to reach people, this girl was unstoppable. She did stuff when she had her amputation. She wanted to learn how to cook chicken. She learned how to flip me off. And yeah, I know. I have to show y'all that picture next time. She has a black middle finger saying F me, but that's okay though. But she cooked some chicken. I ate that chicken too. The chicken was good. She learned how to put on her makeup with just her pinky and her thumb.
Wow.
And this girl was amazing. She loved my kids like they were her own. Like sometimes I figure out who was the mama. I didn't know at times, but what she has done and touched you guys is amazing. And that's all I want to do is make sure everybody never forgets who she was and what she stood for. And it comes from our roots, from our mom down, passed down to Tasha, to Danielle, to all of us. Even her, she'll say she got kids, but my kids, that no one ever forgets why people, when you came across her, if you guys really came across her, you'd be like, this girl is something else. She walk in the room, y'all gonna know who she is. Me, I'm gonna stand back like okay, I don't know you.
Best friends.
It do sound like it, don't
it?
Like my kind of girl.
Partier,
Natasha.
Never made you feel sorry for her at all. You never really know what she was going through. So you ladies and your story and what you guys go through, it's better days to come, because this girl is gonna touch everybody. And I'm gonna show videos of her. It's inappropriate videos, but we gotta get some laughs off sometimes. This girl captured every moment of her life. And I just appreciate you, Felicia, for doing this for us and keeping her story alive. Like I said, Thank you.
I have to share
so much.
Tish, you're gonna make me cry.
That was beautiful. I want you guys contact information. I want to talk to you guys. Somebody posted in the comments or something.
Okay, let's see.
Tish, do you remember when she got her hand? When she went and she got the robotic hand? Oh.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. A company flew her out. My niece Kari went with her, and I don't remember where they went, but she got this robotic hand and they showed her how to manipulate it. And I have this picture of her with her middle finger up. She has like the biggest smile on her face. She's the biggest smile on her face. I'm like, that's Tasha.
It was so hilarious. I'm wearing a special bracelet. This is her special bracelet I'm wearing for her today. It's all the different butterflies united.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's cute. I like that.
Yeah, so I'm going to be offering you guys, anyone that is watching this or tuning in that knows anyone that has the butterfly rash, we are starting a butterfly sponsorship program for butterflies that are on disability and they're not able to work. We took the price down of the cream as least as expensive as it could be at $47 for the large size, so that we can keep it going and keep replenishing it. So we're offering 40% off on the website. So you'll be able to get the skincare for $30, and you can donate it to another butterfly if you want. We have 2 on the list right now, or if you need to use it. We just want to offer that for people that haven't got this resource yet today. And the promo code is Tasha.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's at flowerpowerbathco.com if you know anyone suffering with this rash. So we'll continue to be sharing things about her through the rest of this entire month, and trying to reach other butterflies that she would want us to help right now. So
I feel like just hearing her story helped me. That was just beautiful. That was so beautiful. I love her resilient spirit, because I know we go through so much with lupus. And I felt that when you were talking about her, we could just feel her spirit. That was just beautiful to me.
I'm imagining her reaction to all of this right now. Like she'd just be on her like,
it's about me. I love it.
She would be eating it up, and she would be eating it up.
I know she would, and I know that she would definitely want to be tagged and everything, and that's why if I do anything, I'm constantly trying to give her shout out in heaven, because there's been a time where I was like just sharing things, and I felt like this feeling inside of me like, girl, you better put me on there right now. And I did. I put her on there. I found a picture of her in her like fanciest dress, and I was like, there you are, baby girl.
That's cute.
She did like to show up and dress out and be seen and heard.
Yes.
So we'll always respect that.
I think
love
it's beautiful
it. She just
that you
sounds
guys...
like, I just love her spirit. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I will share Tashas said that before she passed away, she made her rounds to all of the siblings to visit all of us. And I live 2.5 hours away from Vegas. And she spent 3 or 4 days here.
Wow.
And we went to a Mexican restaurant, and it's very small. I mean, it's like maybe the size of someone's living room, but it is the best Mexican food in this town. And we had everybody in that restaurant cracking up. Like they were just part of the family, laughing with us at her stories. And that's just who she was. You could go to the grocery store with her and have a good time.
Absolutely. And her family has completely welcomed me in as well, just the way that she did that very first time that I met her.
I love that.
Okay, I got to say something.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful that you guys have each other to lean on and support with your lupus. Because we just look to each other as sisters in the lupus community, but you actually have sisters. You know, you have family that you can relate to in that way. You know, most people, do you have anybody in your family who has lupus?
The people that had lupus the longest have died. They were like in their latter 70s. I have a cousin that was recently diagnosed at 24. So she calls me from Houston, and I talk to her. Okay, right now, we're the only 2 in the families right now. But we've had a lot of people in the past that had lupus while they were living, but we're the only 2. And she calls me. Actually, I think because of my post, she felt comfortable enough because she didn't know what was going on in her body, and she was just asking questions. And I told her I think she should get tested for lupus because it is in our family. There's been a lot of people in our family, and she actually went and got tested, and they were able to find it quicker because she has lesions also. She does have the discoid lupus as well as SLE. So she does have irritations with her skin. That was the first thing that I noticed with her. So we're pretty close. Her sister, she is like 3 more siblings. Her older sister and I, we're like a year apart in age. So that was always like my big cousin or whatever, one of my favorite people. And so she was like, could you talk to Kendra? I was like, sure, I'll talk to Kendra. Tell Kendra to call me. And so we talked about it. So she still calls periodically. She's been through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
I think it's good for all women in general just to know that it's okay. Because the fact that Tasha was able to take off her makeup at the end and still feel comfortable and confident within her, that's right there letting us know that it's okay. Baby girl, on the day when you don't feel like you the same person, it's okay. You still you. And whoever you are that day is okay. So that's what I got
absolutely,
from the video. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
that's to seasoned vets in the lupus career game, or newbies like Fee was saying. All of us, women in general, just knowing that living without your makeup or being able to look at yourself in the mirror when you don't have on makeup and still accept yourself and love yourself for it. It takes a lot.
It really does,
Make it
because
hard.
with yeah, absolutely, because when you go through so much with lupus in general, so when something starts to happen that's visible, people don't really see the internal stuff, but
Uh-huh.
they immediately see the visible stuff.
And
And
judge you on it.
sometimes people are rude. I mean, they
Mhm.
can be very,
Yeah.
very judgmental, like she was
Yeah.
saying in the video. People look at you and they stare at you and like, well, what happened to you? Well, what is that scar for? What is that?
You know
You
what? I
know,
feel
and
like they judge you whether or not either it's at the either end of the spectrum. So we get judged for not looking like we're sick, and we get judged when we look like we're sick.
Yeah.
What you want us to do?
yeah, it's they don't understand. And I think by doing what we're doing right now, we're bringing the education, and we're letting people see.
Yeah.
Because like Fee said about her mom, her stepmom, I mean, it was periods I didn't really want to see anybody,
Yeah.
because it was so much stuff going on with my body and even the appearance. And it was just like, please don't let nobody else come to this hospital. And it was like one of my best friends from middle school through high school through everything. And she came to see me from Houston. And I was just like, I really just don't want to see nobody. I mean,
Yeah.
and I knew that wasn't me. But in that moment, I was so sick and I just didn't look like myself to me. And
Yeah.
so it was just like, I apologized or whatever. And she was like, I don't care anything about that. I just want to make sure you're good. And so, but I think that I really related a lot to her, because we do go through so much.
Yeah.
And I think it was the love of my friend who was just like, okay, I don't care nothing about that girl. I just want to make sure you're good.
Uh-huh.
That opened me up like, okay,
Yeah.
you're genuine. Because I
Yeah.
had people looking at me like I was what's a nice word? Like I was in a science experiment, because it was so much stuff going on, and they were just, people can be rough.
Yeah.
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 It's still shocking to me that people actually had the audacity to ask her if she got burned, and like, who does that?
Like, who does that? Like, you want me to walk up to you and ask you your personal business?
Well, people, only thing I could say is that people are something else, because honestly, when I was the first time I was actually hospitalized, it looked like I had been beat up, literally, because my eye completely, the left side of my face swelled completely. My eye was completely closed. It looked like I had been beat up. And so somebody was being very nosy. They worked in the hospital and they came in to see me, was around my area. So they put out a big rumor that I got beat up. And I was like, I didn't get beat up. But they didn't know that I had an eye infection because lupus was attacking my body. But they put the rumor out and people were like, well, when that time when you got beat up, I was like, I never got beat up, people. Yeah.
A bunch of kids in grade school, our society nowadays, like, just
Right.
But these are grown-ups. I mean,
Yeah.
they were grown people in the nursing field. But she came in my room and she started going through my chart and she was like, well, no, it don't say she got beat up. It just says something about an eye infection and her body's infectious. I don't understand what this is. But she could have lost her job, actually.
Yeah. Then say that. Don't say she got beat up.
But she'd already put it out. Because my grandmother called and she was like, I thought you said something was wrong with your eye. And I was like, Granny, didn't nobody beat me up. It really was what I told you happened. I mean, it was new to me.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I hadn't really been sick. So it was something totally different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely understand.
We need more empathy and sympathy in the world.
Yeah. A lot of compassion.
Well, we're just hoping that women that are newly diagnosed can go to this and hear Tasha's story and hear about, you know, all the different women on this platform and what they're going through, and that we can help them with resources and to feel like they're not alone right now, because they're not. No butterfly flies alone.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, I lost y'all for a second. My internet went out for a minute. And so I missed what y'all talked about, and I'm pretty sure y'all touched on this, like the mental health aspect of this disease, like feeling depression and anxiety and everything that goes along with that. It's not just a physical disease; it also gets you in your brain.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I remember having those conversations with Tasha. Both up, I don't sleep that much. Well, I'm better now, but it would be like 3 a.m. my time, and I text her, "You up?" "Yep." And we'd have these long conversations about that. So even though she did have those where she was very outgoing and happy, she also had the other end of it, you know, where it impacted her mentally.
Yeah.
And we had to be there for that part that people didn't see or don't understand.
Absolutely. And Miss Shantae over here is a mental health advocate as well in Lupus Glitter. So
yeah,
we're trying to make it well-rounded. We're trying to bring, you know, different food tips and anti-inflammatories, you know, butterfly rash makeup hacks, some mental health tips, and just girlfriends to the table and fun pampering sessions for everyone that's going through this.
Yeah.
So
mental health is big.
Yeah. Did you guys have anything else to add? Well, we're going to continue this series about Tasha. There'll be many more episodes of different things that we'll share. I'll be sharing the makeover that we did that day. And I know that you, Tisha, have some things that you'd like to share, like possibly her mechanical hand flipping us off. So, yeah. If you guys know anyone that needs
yes, I have a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, were you on mute? Okay. Yeah, so we'll share that with you guys eventually. And if you guys know anyone that needs to be sponsored for the butterfly nectar, just reach out and we will find them a sponsor so that everybody's able to access these resources. Thank you so much for joining us in Butterfly Tea Time, and I hope that you guys have a beautiful week as we celebrate Tasha.
Pretty baby, pretty baby. I've been waiting for so long, girl, yeah, to be with you alone, girl, yeah, yeah. Move your back against the wall, girl. Don't be afraid, won't let you fall, girl, no, no. You don't have to feel no pressure. We got all the night, no stress, girl. I will make you scream.
Until next time, butterflies, fly free.